Hey guys, what's going on? Polar Gaming here, bringing a brand new video where today we're at round 4 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Baku, where today we're going to be trying to either level where we finished in Monaco, which I think is going to be an extremely hard task, or just even one position lower. So we finished P9 at the Monaco Grand Prix, which was really good. We showed that we had some good qualifying pace, and then we had some very good pace off the line as well. I'm saying that we started P16. But anyway, we're straight into qualifying here, where we're going to try and get to Q3. We possibly could have got out of Q2 at Monaco if we didn't lose it in the tunnel. Now, I don't know about you, but like I said, our car had pace around Monaco. Being Baku, being another street circuit, we should be able to at least get a decent position off the starting grid. So here we are at the end of lap 1 out of qualifying. We're opening the DRS, coming down the main straight. As we see, Perez with a 141.5. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that. But as we cross the line, we get a 142.7. So still 7 tenths off the pace. At the end of qualifying 1, we finish in P13, luckily enough, being 1.1 seconds behind Sergio Perez. Now this is Q2. At the end of the session, we're going to come over the line. We're going to get a 142.1, and we're going to finish in P6 there, which pushes us down to P10. So we're on the fringe of getting eliminated through Q2, but we made it through to Q3 just on raw pace. Our car is very fast with that Mercedes engine in the back of our car. We're running on board for our only Q3 lap. I had one set of tyres that I wanted to put on towards the end of the lap and just try and get as far up as we can while the grip's out. As you can see on our mini-map, we are the last car out. These guys are on their purples, setting their fastest laps right now. But like I was saying, we have that Mercedes power engine in the back of our car, which is going to help us a lot with the, the longest straight in F1, even though it's got little it's not a chicane, but little left-right. But as we see, Lewis Hamilton through with the fastest lap so far at a 141.1. Can anyone else beat that? As it looks like Sergio's come over the line. Perez is getting a nice Max is getting a nice toe behind Bottas. As Bottas goes quicker, so he'll be sitting on pole as we go through the castle section onto the second last straight. Going to lead into where everyone had trouble in the real life Grand Prix. We go into the heavy braking zone here. We throw it in third gear just to add that little bit of traction. Drop it down to second, up to 6. Nice and easy through the last. We don't want to lose the lap as we kick the rear end out. And we're going to come through, hit 7th, up to 8th. Nice and easy through there, flat. It's not a very hard corner in these cars with low fuel and brand new soft tyres on. We're going to open up the DRS here. We're running out of ERS. We're nearly depleted through there. And what's the time going to be? It's going to be a 141.3. So where's that going to put us?
All ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Bottas, Hamilton and Max Verstappen. With qualifying, warm welcome to all of you watching at home to today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and a race that in its short history has already proven no stranger to drama. A fourth row start is just about as likely to give you a podium as a pole position would. And remember, in 2017 and 2018, both Lance Stroll and then Sergio Perez took surprise podiums here. Baku City Circuit then, an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of Turn 1, so how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty: positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Verstappen, Daniel, Sergio Perez, and Norris, Leclerc, Sainz, Ricciardo, and Pierre Gasly, Tsunoda, Fernando Alonso, Lance Stroll, and Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Ocon, George Russell, and Daniel Ticktum, Latifi, Mick Schumacher, Mazepin, and Sebastian Vettel starts from the back of the grid. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
Alright, so we're into the race. It looks a bit overcast over there, but the radar was showing that there's going to be no rain for the whole session, which is really good because we haven't driven in the rain as of yet, which could be a great equalizer. But we're going to try the 2-stop strategy. So we're going to go from the softs to the mediums, and we're going to try and eke this out, and we're going to try and hold our position the whole way around the race. Now I think we should be able to have a pretty good start. We're going to be on the softs, so these guys are more likely going to be on the mediums. No, they're on the softs as well, as we getting to 5 red lights, and away we go. As we get a slow start, as Lando starts to creep up on us, he gets past, as Leclerc's up our inside as well. As we go into turn 1, we're side by side by Lando. Not enough room for Leclerc to get through, so we're just going to sit back. And we're going to try and see if there's a move on with Lando. There isn't. There's Leclerc on the outside. We decide to give him a bit of room. We don't want to push him off too hard as he slips in behind us through the slipstream. As you can see, we're already falling off the pack up the front. We're going to be able to hold up with them through the straights, but as soon as we get into this middle sector, through sectors 2 and most of sector 3, we're probably going to drop off the back of them as we get a big moment of oversteer there. Going through the middle sectors now, as you can see, we're starting to get a lot of dirty air as we're just offline. Leclerc is extremely close behind us with Sainz right behind him looking to overtake. Is he going to go for a move? No, he's not, as we're coming up to the castle section now, still just on the back of Lando. We're 6/10 behind now. You can see that they are starting to break away as it goes from Bottas to Hamilton to Verstappen to Perez to Lando, then to us, then Leclerc, then Sainz. As you can see on the map too, we are holding everyone up, so we are well out of position for where we are. As we come down into the section, we nearly put it into the wall there. If we didn't have ABS, we would definitely have been in the wall there. But we're going to come down to third. We're going to try and get a nice clean exit, as we sort of do. But Leclerc is going to try and have a look on the outside. We're going to keep pushing it. We're just going to absolutely send it through here, and hopefully we can break away from them a little bit, as it is 2/10 and that time is coming down. They should be able to get us pretty easily, but as soon as they come out of the slipstream, they might struggle. So we're going to hold them off by the looks of it, as Sainz is going up the inside. We give them the room. If they want that outside, they can have it, and we come into turn 1 pretty comfortably, as Leclerc has a moment there too, which is giving us a bit of breathing room coming down this second straight as we try to attack Lando. Now we move on to later in the lap, where Leclerc, like I said, they're going to make up time through the second sector, is now going side by side through us through this fast left part of the track, where thankfully he let off, because I was not going to let off going through there. So we have a bit of a moment coming in through lap 2. Our tyres, these softs, I didn't feel very comfortable with them. In the overcast at the start of the race, they weren't too bad. Now the sun's starting to come out. The tyres are starting to warm up, as Leclerc is going to go well on the outside. Lando's going to try and go around the outside of him as well. They're going 3 abreast, and they're bringing me into it as we try to defend against Sainz. And we take a nice sharp line into there, but it's going to bring our racing line down. As we come into the end of the third lap, we're going to try and decide to undercut these guys and try and get a bit of space on them. So it's either going to work out for us, or it's going to just open it up, and they're going to be able to just storm away with their track position and now fresh air. But I have a feeling that they're going to be battling a lot. As you can see on the map, Gasly's already ahead of both the Ferraris, and so is Lando, but it looks like they're battling up ahead. But we will find out shortly whether or not this is going to pay off for us. As I said, I feel better being on the mediums throughout this race than I did on the softs. So we're here onto lap 7 now. Everyone's basically pitted, or is about to come into the pits. And as you can see, we've got Pierre right behind us with Charles Leclerc, Danny Rick, Carlos Sainz. So, you know, Sainz is, what's that, 3 seconds behind us. And Pierre's catching us pretty rapidly. He's got DRS on us. We're going to try and keep him at bay with the Haas in front of us. So we have a big moment there where we slightly tapped the wall as we're coming through. Now Leclerc's attacking Gasly as they go side by side. So side by side. And later through the lap, onto lap 10 now. Leclerc is right behind us, and Gasly and Sainz are all putting pressure on us as we come through the castle section. We're not too confident through the castle section. Like I said, those rears are getting burnt up really, really fast. So we get a little bit of oversteer coming through there. We're going to go through this and try and defend coming up into that braking zone. As you can see, Leclerc is still catching us. Look at the time deltas as we come into that last corner. As Leclerc on lap 10 got past us on the main finish straight, as we dive it up the inside, and we get ahead of him pretty comfortably. As he's coming back at us, we decide to leave him the space, but it looks like he hit the rumble strips on the inside and has bounced into us. Now, I wasn't sure if we had damage or not. It didn't look like we did on the indicator, but with F1 2021, you never know. And at the end of lap 10, you can see Leclerc got damage off that, so he must have chipped his front wing on our side pod. As, we come through. Now onto lap 11. At the end of the lap, these guys were relentless on trying to attack us, but we just kept on defending through that first turn. We just park it on the apex and just let the power do the talking as we move over just before the braking zone in front of Gasly. And it's just trains on trains as Gasly now at the end of this lap is gotten past us, where Sainz almost was past us, but we outbrake Gasly as he tries to cut us off, but we get up into the position as we're coming through back onto the back straight. You see Gasly's going to try and overtake us. At the end of the same lap, we come through to do our second pit stop now. It has been pretty early. We're only halfway through the race now, but I was feeling the tyre wear. We've been battling a lot. We need to save the tyres throughout this last stint. And, as the camera shows someone else's pit box, that's fine. As we come out of the pits, we're in P21 pretty comfortably. You got Leclerc up there with Mazepin. And Leclerc's on the hards, so he's trying the one stop by the looks of it. Not sure what tyre he started. He must have started on the softs, so those tyres are going to be very old. At the end of the same lap, you can see he's not going any better than that Haas. As we decide just to stick on the inside line as we get past him, and it's going to be a nice and easy overtake on him. And now we're going to push up and get Latifi. I think this was the same lap as we see Yuki Tsunoda is out of the session. As we're coming through the castle section here, you'll see he's parked up on the right there. It looks like it must have been a mechanical failure as we lose the back end as well with barely any tyre wear. At the end of lap 19, we're back under attack from Gasly and Sainz. These guys are pit now. They're on their final set of tyres, and they're going to have a lot fresher rubber to come and attack us. And as you can see, Daniel Rick isn't too far away from this fight either. So this fight for P6 is going to come hopefully down to the wire with only 6 laps remaining now as we go up the inside and we go a bit too deep, and that puts Gasly in a better position to attack us coming into this next section as he locks up and he puts us in the wall. And well, hopefully that hasn't affected him too much, like Leclerc did earlier on, where he put himself into us as we come along. And then it's just a clinical error, isn't it? Carlos trying to go up the inside there, didn't work out. As Gasly's now dropped back, as you see, he's now behind Stroll. We've got Danny Rick chasing us down the inside. We're sneaking to the left-hand side so we can brake early into the first turn. Gasly mustn't have got damage because he's still out on track, or if he did, he didn't get a lot. As we see, we're trying to hold off Ricciardo. If we can't get in front of this McLaren, he's going to dance off into the sunlight like Lando has, who is, by the way, up in P4. He's either behind Hamilton or Bottas right now, but Max out in front with either the other Mercedes driver right behind him with Checo in P5. So that's a very interesting setup that they got going on up there. But we managed to get back in front of Danny Rick as we have a massive understeer, into the wall, and we managed to get away with it. We didn't have a lot of damage. It was more a lateral impact, which was luckily we didn't lose any wheels. As we're coming down the main straight here, Danny Rick's got back in front of us with the help of the DRS. We're going to go late under brakes as who was up the inside there? Stroll was up the inside. Stroll's going to try and go for it again. As we've braked on the braking marker, we've been pushed into Ricciardo from Stroll, and hopefully Danny Rick hasn't got any damage from that. But that was ambitious by Stroll, to say the least. As I let them go, and now I try and dive it up the inside just to get the position back, and we do the same thing that Stroll just did to us as a bit of payback, because we didn't appreciate it, so I'm sure he didn't either. But we're on to the last lap now. As you can see, Ricciardo got in front of us. He got away. He was only 1.8 seconds up the road, but that McLaren was very, very fast. Remember, they were on fresher tyres too. And Max Verstappen with the victory today, with the Mercedes in second place. I think it's second and third. I'm just looking at the map here, but it's Max, one of the Mercedes, and then Lando's in that third position, but I don't think he finished P3rd. But we're going to cross the line for P7, which is our best finish of the season so far, and we back up our run from Monaco, where we finished P9, and that's a nice little tally of points right there.
A resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everyone at the team. Let's have a look then at the driver's stand.
So yeah, as I said, we finished P7 with Danny Rick finishing in P6, Max Verstappen in first, Valtteri second, and Lando did finish that. I didn't actually notice that when I was recording the video. So there you go, Lewis Hamilton down in fourth, Perez in fifth, and the Ferraris, who's that? Charles Leclerc, who was on the hards, did do a two-stop, so he must have figured his mediums weren't going to last the end of the race. But that pushes us up into P10 in the driver's standings, which is fairly good after considering our first two races were basically DNFs. That pushes us up to P7 in the drivers, in the constructors. But thanks guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.